Hey gang, I'm jumping on here one more time today. It is still Wednesday the 25th. Um, I've got about half an hour half an hour before Mom, Lisa, and Jerry get back to the house. So I wanted to jump on here real quick to talk to you guys about one of the subjects that basically everybody's asking about right now because I had talked about it earlier. And that was certain changes that I'm trying to do in my life. One being diet, two being just positive stuff. Like I pulled out a whole bunch of my journals and Bible stuff, and I'm gonna try to condense it into one to make it easier for me to look at or look through. Um, I went through my desk and cleaned it up and got rid of a bunch of junk and looked at some of the stuff that I have, and I found a whole bunch of like blank journals, and I basically put my desk back in order. And yeah, okay, the background is back to the way it was, but I now have options on different directions I can turn. Like for instance, you used to that old backdrop. Now I can turn my camera and whatnot for that backdrop, which is the other wall. And then I can turn again. Hold on, let me just push in one of my shelves on my desk. I have these, I'll just show it to you. Nice little like pull out trays for whatever. Or I can turn and give you that backdrop. Or the backdrop that I really am going to enjoy is, yes, behind my desk. That is excuse me. That is a faux wall. Basically, it is a tapestry of sorts that was part of. Let me put my camera down so it's not shaking. It's basically it's the tapestry that we hung up. It's a piece of cloth that's painted or designed to look like a library wall, and it was basically part of the decor for the Harry Potter party. So I was like, hey, let's just leave it up. That way, if I decide that if I wanted to turn my back to my desk and not fidget, basically, I can do that, and they don't have to look at all the pictures of all the family members, which I myself was getting tired of looking at. So we left it up. I'm not going to walk you through the house, but I've basically taken all the decorations that I've neatly put them away and done all the stuff that I wanted to do while Jerry Ann was gone, which is basically clean. I've said it once before in a video. I'm not really good with, what is that hanging off of? Oh, I see. Sorry. Squirrel moment. There's something on that far wall. I'm like, that's new. Um, Basically, I wanted to clean up, and I have a hard time cleaning up with people who are either going to micromanage or be in the way. I'm not saying that Jerry Ann is a micromanager, but she does have a tendency to be like, no, I want it this way. No, do this. No, basically, and I get fed up and go, you know what? If I can't do it my way, do it yourself. Which she gets mad at me for because she doesn't like that. Hence, that's one of the Henson personas, are part of the Henson genetics, that if you're going to tell me how to do something that I already see how I'm going to do it or know how to do it, I'm going to back up and just go for it, do it. If you're going to sit there and tell me what to do, do it. Not harping on Jerry because she's learned her lessons. She's learned that either A, she's going to have to be involved and do a bulk of the work, or B, just get out of the way. Because I'll get frustrated and leave the room, which is not good, but it is what it is. We're still learning. 20 years, we're still learning some of the different intricacies, even though I think I'm learning more than she is, but I don't know, because women can be very secretive, I guess you'd say. I don't know. But part of the room that we decorated was, let's see if I can get you a picture of it. That area has got a bench, or my sister-in-law called it a hopeless chest. hope chest, hopeless chest, however you want to put it. But we like decorated it with like fake flowers and whatnot. Called it the I took the sound down the herbology lab. But that's not what I came on here for. Let me just, you know what? You've seen all four angles. I'm gonna go back to my other one because not only is it a familiar position for me, but I have the little trays that are connected to the desk that I can pull out. But what I came on here for is to let you know that a lot of the changes that I'm trying to make are for the positive. One of the things that I noticed while my sister-in-law Alicia was cooking, because she is on a keto diet, so she has certain foods that she'll eat, certain foods she won't eat. I don't know much about keto diet. I was going to do some research on the keto diet so I can understand it a little bit better. But I did do a lot of research last night and the night before, well, mostly yesterday, on various types of diets for weight loss, muscle building, muscular atonement, keto diets, type 2 diabetic type stuff. And one of the things, because of, as you guys know, I am very, 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 very interested in the Viking way. Mostly because of the fact that I am finding out more and more about the I don't even call it a possibility anymore because of all the research I've done, but there is very strong traces of Norse or Viking ancestry in my genes. And I mean, I've done a lot of different studies because I had in the past a family member who, actually, she was not even a blood related family member. She was married into the family and literally insisted that we had Native American blood in our genes. And well, between Ancestry.com, their DNA test, and just a lot of other different research I've done, if there is any Native American blood, it's less than 1%. It's like a drop in the ocean of genetics. But the higher amount, the higher percentage of the DNA testing and whatnot has been either Scots, Irish, Wales, German, and Scandinavian, which Scandinavia is basically where the Norse come from. And the thing is the further I did my research in the areas that my DNA results told me about, a good chunk, I mean, like, literally, I don't even know, I don't even know how to show you the graph, but a good 45%, if not 65%, I can't remember offhand without going back and looking at Ancestry.com and whatnot, but a larger percent of my DNA comes from that corner of the world, that basically big old circle, and that big old circle engulfs all of the UK, basically down towards like the very tip of France, into as far east on the compass basically as the Baltic Sea, and as west as the compass would go to like Greenland, basically, or no, actually went further than Greenland. Did it go all the way into the Americas? Well, no, it didn't go all the way into the Americas. It barely touched Greenland, and that whole section, that whole circle, was basically before all the different tribes split off into the different nationalities that we know nowadays, was Nordic territory. I mean, Northeast Germany, Scandinavia, Finland, Switzerland, basically that whole section, which was primarily Norse territory. Sweden, Scandinavia, and Norway, basically, Finland, Ireland, Scotland, and basically as far south in the UK as Wales, what is now known as Wales nowadays. That was all basically Nordic. Either they conquered it, settled it, raided it, or lived it type situation. And I just kind of went, okay, everything I knew before I started studying about the Norse people, the Vikings, as most people would call them, I was like, that a lot of their ways, their thinking, and all whatnot. That that's me. I don't want to say aggression or aggressiveness. My fearlessness, my boldness, my loyalty to my family and my country. All the things it talked about in all the different things that I've studied about the Norse. I'm just like, that's me. That's me. That's screw it. I'm not going to argue with history or DNA or any of that stuff. So one of the things I was studying about diets. Yes, I'm going back to diets. I'm not going round robin. I'm just trying to tell you where I'm coming from. One of the things I studied about diets was the Norse diets, and it's like high in protein, grains, fruits, vegetables, everything that's supposed to be healthy for you. And I was just like, well, between the fact that Jerry Ann and I are getting up there in age, she just hit 50, I'll be hitting 50, not next. Yeah, next year, next October, not this coming October. This coming October, I'm only hitting 49, but next October, 2021, I'll be turning 50. And I'm like, I've already proven to myself, and Jerry's proven to herself, that we can literally outlive our parents. I mean, her father lived to be 80 some odd years old. My mom's still kicking. She's in her early 80s, I think. Late 70s, early 80s. I can't remember off the top of my head. Dad was born 41. She was born 45 or 46. Something like that. They were both born in the early to mid 40s. Yeah, she's got to be up there around 75, 70, somewhere in between 75 and 78. Or maybe later. Late 70s, that's all I can remember. But if we start to basically, and we should have probably started years ago, but if we start now and just continue living a healthy lifestyle, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, we can definitely live into our 80s or beyond if we did it right. And what spurred this whole decision to make a change, especially with my diet, and I think part of what's going to help change everything is my mental health as well. As a lot of you have, itchy nose. As a lot of you have stated, ever since I left or got fired from Casey's, however you want to put it, I've been happier. I've been more positive. I've been more energized. Things like that. Now, that right there, just the factor of the less stress, right there, lets me know you can get a better health. I mean, mentally, you're already getting a better health. Dang it. Sorry, folks. My nose has the most ridiculous timing. Might be time for Vicks inhaler or something like that to help unclog it. I'm trying to stay away from the nose spray except for once a day before I go to bed. But I'm thankful to you, to a lot of you, for pointing out certain things that I don't always see in myself. So it's kind of like, these folks are pointing this out. I guess it's true. Let me find out. Um, but I'm thinking between, because all the stuff that I read about diets, don't matter what diet plan you're following, whether it's keto or a diabetic regimen, or what's some of the other weird diets I've heard about? A paleo. There's keto, there's a paleo, and there's another one I can't remember off the top of my head. But everything I've read basically so far is basically like, start your day with a high protein diet. And they're talking about eggs, breakfast meats, sausage and ham. They kind of tell you to stay away from bacon. Reasons why, I don't know. Then they're talking about, like, if you don't eat eggs for whatever reason, let's say you're a vegetarian and you don't want to eat any kind of product that comes from animal. They're saying basically grains, fruits, even vegetables. And I'm like, who would eat a vegetable first thing in the morning? Europeans. I remember when I was growing up, Europeans would start their day with their basic meal. Starting the day was meats, cheese, and breads. That's it. They didn't eat eggs, because in Germany the idea of eating an egg is kind of like weird, because it's an item that you use for baking, not just consuming by scrambling it or frying it or whatever. And then they're talking about, like, different foods for different meals and what kind of portions and things like that. But all three meals, they suggest protein. Protein from whatever item you can get protein in. And they gave you a list of different items that are protein based. And I'm like, okay, interesting. One of the things I also did research on was because of my interest in the Viking lifestyle. And there was a gentleman who wrote a book called The Modern Day Viking. It doesn't talk about raiding or pillaging or lopping people's heads off or any of the barbaric stuff of the Dark Ages, the 8th to 15th century type stuff. They're talking about what would a modern day Viking look like, act like, live like. And one of the things I read was, and they weren't talking about modern day Vikings, they were talking about a comparison between modern day and ancient or Viking era Vikings and their lifestyle. And one of the things I read that I didn't realize was they only eat 2 meals a day. The main meal in the morning time, or I can't remember the name, but it was one meal during the daytime, when, like, an hour after you woke up. That way it gives your body the time to adjust from a waking position and a sleeping position. And basically it was a big meal that consisted of protein, fruits and vegetables, mostly fruit, and grains. And they give you, like, information descriptions about what ancient or what Viking era Scandinavians had available to them. And it was like pork, fish, lamb, goat, wild game, and horse. And I'm like, horse? They ate horses? Wow. And they talked about all the different grains that they could either grow in their climate or harvest from the wilds, things like that. And then the second meal was the end of the day meal after you worked throughout the day. And I was like, well, currently I'm only really eating 2 meals, so if I can balance those 2 meals to be a healthier meal instead of half healthy, half crap. Excuse my language. Maybe I'm already on that road. Then I was like looking up information about snack foods, because there are times where if I don't eat enough food at the meal, I want to snack on something. And they were talking about healthy snacks. One of the things they were talking about, the best meal to have first thing in the morning is like your eggs, your protein, your protein base, whether it's eggs and meat or eggs and somebody said avocado. I read something about avocado toast. It's a protein, and I'm like, don't really like avocado straight up. I like guacamole. I like certain items made with avocados, but not straight up. And then they were talking about eat like your protein portion, and then a grain portion, and then a fruit portion. So that way you have your protein, your fiber, and then your can't remember what they called it, but basically it's the fruit is supposed to be like a fortification for like riba something or other. Your sorry, I can't say those words. Your vitamins and such. So I was kind of like, I think I can do that. So I'm hoping once things calm down and get back to normal, Jerry Ann and I can start. And I know Jerry Ann's not a big meal planner. She likes to basically fly by the seat of her pants when it comes to for food preparation. The only person I'm really worried about is Mom. Mom is just a plain and simple, give her meat, her mashed potatoes, and corn or something like that. She's not a big... She'll eat roasted Brussels sprouts. She'll eat some broccoli, but she doesn't eat a lot. She eats like one little piece or two little pieces. I try to eat at least a spoonful. I know I probably should be eating more, but all the information I've been reading was like protein, protein, protein. And they're talking about healthy proteins like red meats, chicken. Not very much on pork, even though pork was kind of a mainstay for the Vikings, but that's because the pigs were easier to maintain because they matured quicker and whatnot. And the cow, they ate cow, but they would not eat or take the cow to slaughter until the cow became of a certain age where it could not breed or was not producing milk. So I'm like reading all this information going, I can do this. I can do this, because the reason why I say that now is going back to Alicia, who was here for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's about a week. Well, I'll say 6 days, because she left this morning. Today would have been the 7th day. She cooked just about every meal for the last 6 days except for one meal, because Diane wanted everybody to try this chicken artichoke stuffed. Basically what it was she took and made the artichoke, I forgot what it's called, but it's a normally used as a dip. It's like spinach and artichoke dip. Instead of making it like we normally do, we put it through the Cuisinart, so you won't have like big old chunks of artichoke that you're trying to chew. Made the dip, stuffed the dip into the chicken breast, or pulled the chicken breast in a spoonful of dip, and baked it, and then turned the rest of the dip into a sauce, or a bechamel type sauce, to put over the chicken. Delicious. Loved it. Everybody loved it. But because Alicia's diet for keto, she cooked for the most part. And even though for the first 3 days, my body was going through, I guess, I'm going to call it a cleanse, because it cleared me out, cleaned up my gut, basically. And I'm like, Doctored here and there, add a little bit of this, take a little bit of that out. For the most part, the food was good. Very little meat, more vegetable, and whatnot, more fiber than protein. And I was kind of like, well, if we were to basically take this, the certain dishes that she made, and added a protein, I wouldn't have a problem with that. In fact, one of Jerry Ann's creations is a cabbage and sausage concoction. I enjoy that. I think it might need a little bit more flavoring, but that's just my taste. So that's basically what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to change my diet up to be healthier, less junk food. Unfortunately, there's a lot of junk food left over from the party, um, and I am going to blame it on the party because Factor Jerry didn't buy any of it. Alicia and the girls bought it for the party. There's some things that were bought and left behind that are basically health food or keto style foods that I'm going to have to try because it must have been part of the recipes that Alicia was making. This is actually green tea. One of the things that they suggested for beverages besides water was green tea and coffee. And they even said in this information I read from different groups, Weight Watchers was one of them. Cooking Network was another one. I forgot what the third and fourth one was. I was just like, oh, that sounds interesting. Click. They all basically said coffee and green tea are good caffeine products that help your body out. The caffeine from the coffee and the green tea have certain probiotics and antibiotics and vitamins that in fact are their energy boosters. And I was like, what if I don't like straight black coffee? What if I want coffee with like maybe trying some of Jerry Ann's sugar-free creamers? And then one of the other things it said was honey. Use honey as a natural sweetener, not processed sugars like stevia or Splenda or just straight up sugar. Use honey instead. And I went, well, I love honey. I'll have anything with honey any given day. That's probably why I go through a jug of honey, 32 ounces or more in a week and a half period of time. So this is green tea. This is actually green tea with ginseng and honey. I mix it with the diet version of ginseng with honey, green tea with ginseng and honey. So I take regular and diet and kind of mix them together. So that's what I've been drinking today. I've only had one can of soda, which is like, wow. One can, I feel energized. I feel enthusiastic. I just like cloud nine. Here I am. What's the next level? That's how I felt. How I'm feeling today. That in fact, I am excited, anxious, nervous. Is there any other emotion there? Excited, anxious, nervous. Yeah, all three of those emotions because tomorrow is my first day at Dickey's. And for all of you who are telling me to follow the money, I follow the money. I even said it earlier today. Dickey's and Wendy's are offering about the same amount of money full-time with benefits. So both of them have good money. Both of them are full-time. Both of them have benefits. I decided to pursue, like I said earlier, I decided to pursue Dickey's because I really don't want to deal with the stress of fast food. Now, Dickey's is not exactly fast food, but it's not exactly a sit-down restaurant. So I don't know that much more about Dickey's than what I've already talked about. I will find out tomorrow, I'll hopefully have a schedule for tomorrow. I'm not looking to jump head first, full force into the job. I'm looking to just go in there, learn what I have to learn, and just go at a hopefully not so chaotic, out of control pace. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to it. This video has become a 30-minute discussion about my changes. Granted, I only talked mostly about the dietary changes. I'm going to, as one of my changes, is to basically start planning things out. Not scripting anything, just basically bullet points of what I want to talk about. The next video after this one, I will start to talk to you about the physical, not the dietary, the physical changes I'm going to try to make, which basically what I mean by that is fitness. Trying to get my body back to a better shape. I'm in need of physical, not really physical therapy in the sense of we're going to a therapist, but more, I need to get out and walk more. I need to possibly hit the gym and get a trainer that I don't have to pay extra money for because it's part of the package for, we have a fitness center here in town and you pay a monthly charge. I can't remember how much it is, a monthly charge. I want to find out how much that is. I want to find out if we have Planet Fitness in town. I want to see if they have any kind of like monthly charge with a trainer, things like that. And then we have another place that is a 24-hour place, and I don't know if that's do your own or if they have actual people to coach you through, what did you come in here for? You want weight loss? Do you want cardio? Do you want... I want the full thing. I don't want to hit it full force because of my age and have physical issues like back and knee problems. But I want to be able to do cardio. I want to be able to do muscle building. Not like, I'm going to bulk up and be, no. I just get rid of the stomach, tone my muscles so they're not feeling like they're wasting away type deal. Actually, I just told you what I wanted to do. See, I just combined that. And then the other thing that I really want to get into is the mental aspect. And I've basically one of the things, you know what? Remind me to talk to you guys about what I want to do for my mind. And then I'll talk to you about it because I don't want to make this a tremendously long video. But that's basically what I'm doing dietary. If you have any... I'm jumping. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. Go ahead and write comments about reminding me about the mental aspect of what I'm trying to change. And then I'll try to do that video at a later date. So, if you're not a member, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then the little bell that pops up, and then that way YouTube will tell you when I put in my next video. Until next time, have a good day. Bye.